Hello, everybody. I didn't mean to start you. Well, I did mean to start you, but I was going to start Discord first, but I started you first on YouTube. So there. Hello, everybody. That's funny. It was running a little late today. Like news just broke and I was trying to grab the story for some ICE news. And then I got like thrown off because of it. So that I started you first, which is okay. But I do usually start Discord first. So because I don't know why. Anyway, hang on a second here. Discord. Actually, you know why? Because YouTube records. So I like to kind of have YouTube start and not make people necessarily wait while I get other things set up. You know what I mean? All right. I'm restarting Discord now, so my microphone works. I hope people in my laptop. All right. Reconnect. Events. Here we go. All right. There we go. Now I'm starting. There we go. All righty. Boom. All right. Camera on. We are on Discord. Hello, Discord. On Donner, on Blitzen. All right. Hello, everybody. Woo-woo. All right. TikTok's the last one, and then we're set. So welcome, guys. Let's see if my TikTok microphone works again tonight. You know how this goes. You never know. You never know. So we will see. Sounds good with you guys. That's good at least. All right. TikTok. Oop, let me get my light on here, actually. I like my overhead light on. It helps a little bit. It's not perfect. Well, it's okay. It's not perfect, but it helps a little bit. Let me getting TikTok always takes another second to set up, which is unfortunate. I apologize, but it is what it is. Oops. Hey. There. All right. Good. TikTok is working. All right. So it took me a second. I have to like type in titles on TikTok and all sorts of stuff. All right. Give me a second. This is bright today. There we go. All right. I was going to have the windows open today too, but then suddenly the weather got nicer and the sun came out and it became boiling hot. And I was like, all right, well, we're not doing that. So slice that lemon. That's a new gift. Slice that lemon. What a bizarre gift. Hang on a second. I'm trying to see what else there is. Maybe I'll pick the lemon today for something fun to do. Maybe. Sorry, guys. TikTok always takes a second here. Actually, introduce yourselves if you want, where you're from. That might be a nice way to pass the time for a quick second while I'm doing this. Yeah. What the hell? We can pick the lemon just because. Let's pick the lemon. Why not? It's new. It's weird. There's some new lemon gift. It's a little weird on TikTok, but what the heck? What the heck? All right. Come on, TikTok. There we go. All right. All right. TikTok is live. Woo-woo. All right. Always takes me a second to get TikTok going. You guys know that. All right. Mirror my video. All right. Woo. Finally. Hello, everybody. Hello, Newman. So welcome, guys. My water. Hello, TikTok. Thank you for joining us. I did not have my coffee, but I had a little tea, but I'm not convinced it worked sufficiently. I'm getting a little bit of a headache. I am late. There was some late breaking news that I wanted to add to the show. That's the reason I'm late. I actually had a good reason to be late. Now, is my microphone working on TikTok? Good question, by the way. Is it actually working today? I'm hoping it is. But yeah, there was some, you may not be in tomorrow. What, you think your marriage is more important than me? That's okay. That's allowed. Anyway, welcome everybody. There ended up being a lot of news. Actually, there was a ton of news that hit in like the last half hour, actually. So suddenly we got a lot of news. So I had to like update, like, right. I wanted to put what I actually did was I just put a video on TikTok because it was just a story that was, I could hear Callum in my ear, even though Callum wasn't really in my ear, going, Aaron Parnas is going to talk about it. You should talk about it. So I did. Which I'll talk about in a second. So big news from the dairy industry. I don't know about that. I did, in fact, I was telling Callum, I made those ice cream French toast. So You guys had suggested the other night, we get into food talk at the end of the show a lot, and you guys had suggested using ice cream to make French toast. And I said, you're crazy. Whoever it was said, oh my God, try it. Well, I kid you not, this was 5 days ago. One of you said this. 2 days ago, a day or two ago, I see Jacques Pepin on my Facebook, who's a really good French chef, American now, friend of Julia Child. And Jacques Pepin says, when I was working in a restaurant, we would cheat making French toast if we were in a hurry, and we would make it with ice cream. And I'm looking at this going, this is hilarious because you guys said this like 5 days ago and I didn't believe you. Basically, and I did it. You take any kind of ice cream. Vanilla is good, but you take any kind of ice cream. I had vanilla. He used vanilla. Melt some in the microwave, and then soak the bread in the liquid, and then cook it on the stove. It was the most delicious French toast I've ever had in my life. I thought it was going to be too sweet. It wasn't too sweet. Again, I was shocked it wasn't too sweet. The sweetness was perfect. You could certainly add a little cinnamon if you want. Shockingly good. Now, it must be remembered that that means that I had bread and ice cream for breakfast. So it's not exactly, I mean, when it comes, French toast isn't exactly, healthy to start with, but it literally was eating ice cream. It even, I think I took a picture of it. I will show you. I took a picture. Because I think I sent it to Cal. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked at how good this was. Oh, I better have taken a picture. Maybe I didn't. Oh no, I didn't. Oh wait, yes, I know I did. Maybe I did. Yes, I did. Here we go. This is the picture. Okay. I mean, this is pretty damn good. This is literally toast dipped in ice cream, and it cooked like this. Look at this. I mean, it got nice and crispy. It was soft and custardy inside. The outside got little crispy bits. And it's weird too, because it cooks and makes crispy bits too. No, and the weirdest part, we will talk about the news, but we're talking about ice cream right now and ice cream French toast. The weirdest part was it wasn't too sweet. It was perfectly sweet. And I'm thinking ice cream I did do maple syrup a little bit. I'm thinking ice cream as French toast is going to be disgustingly sweet. It was perfect. I cooked it in a frying pan. I'm telling you guys, and the weirdest part, I only had, you soak it a minute or two, long enough for it took maybe 2 minutes, long enough for it to soak up. The weirdest part was I only had wheat bread. So I used wheat bread, and wheat bread is usually a little iffy. It was delicious. Absolutely delicious. He also, and mind you, Jacques Pepin recommended it. He also said, obviously, you like strawberries, use strawberry ice cream. You can use what I used a little syrup on the side. Use whatever ice cream you want. I'm shocked about this, guys. And again, whoever recommended it, I thought you were crazy. Jacques Pepin recommended it, who was Julia Child's friend, and he's a super big chef. He recommended it, and I went, okay. He goes, at the restaurant, when we wanted to cheat, we were in a hurry, we would use ice cream. I made French toast last week the regular way. It was okay. This was to die for. Absolutely. Oh, I'm sure it's better with better bread, no eggs, vanilla ice cream. Melt the vanilla ice cream, soak the bread in the vanilla ice cream, cook it in the pan with some butter. You're done. That's it. No eggs. If you want, buy vanilla. My vanilla ice cream maybe has eggs in it. I don't think it does, but it might. But yeah, buy ice cream that doesn't have eggs. It probably will work anyway. I didn't put cinnamon. I should have. Anyway, let's go do the news. But I didn't put cinnamon, but I should have. I just kind of was like, you know what? Let me just do it this way. Shockingly good. Shockingly good. Most ice cream has eggs, Ash says. I kind of suspected it would have eggs. I think maybe my ice cream has eggs anyway. Yeah, like I said, it's a great thing to probably a great thing to make with kids too. Because imagine well, your kids may not eat it. If you were like French toast, we're going to bread and ice cream. They're like, what are we doing? Come back and talk about it. Shockingly good. It takes a minute to soak though, because it's thicker. So it doesn't necessarily, soak as much. Anyway, that's true. American ice cream would not have eggs. Only custard has eggs typically. I mean, typically custard is, there you go. Joshua just said the same thing. Custard has eggs. Ice cream does not. Yeah. Ice cream typically should not have eggs. It's hard to say how much. I took I did have to take a big swath of ice cream but for 2 slices, a decent swath worked. It's hard to explain how much. I'd say err on the side of not enough and melt more in the microwave. All right. Give it a try, guys. Come back and tell me tomorrow how it was. Hell, I'd make it for dinner if I had more bread. It was shockingly good. All right, let's get rolling here. So there was anyway, I'm John Aravosis. I should probably introduce myself. Welcome. This is my show. We talk about the latest news from the United States. And we also talk about the latest news from Ukraine. We've got news on both fronts today, so we will be talking about it. Some late breaking news. Democratic members of Congress just tweeted with video that they were trapped by ICE, by our immigration police, detained the members of Congress and basically locked them up for half an hour illegally. The Democratic members of Congress went to an ICE facility in Brooklyn, New York City, and they are allowed to do this. Trump doesn't like it. ICE doesn't like it, especially because they're an authoritarian police force. They don't like it when Democrats, and I say Democrats, I mean political leaders in a democracy, come and oversee them. It is their right to do. So what the guy did with the ICE guy had a mask on, of course, wouldn't say who he was. He lets the Democrats into the facility. Check this out. He opens the front gate, the fence, lets the Democrats in, and then locks the gate, goes to the door, goes in and shuts the door and locks it. He locked the Democrats in the area between the 2 fences, and he left. He left them for half an hour. That is an illegal detention. It is not just an illegal detention. It is detaining members of Congress doing their job. And the guy, of course, wouldn't like the kind of, basically, again, the thugs that you would find in the Soviet Union, the thugs you would find in China, covered his face, wouldn't say who he was. Really, really disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And just like the January 6th protesters who should have been in prison for life for trying to violently overthrow the government, we now have fascist elements of our government arresting basically members of Congress. This is, again, what the Soviets do. This is what the communist Chinese do. This is who these people have become. They have become no better than China. They are no better than the Soviets. They don't believe in America. They don't believe in democracy. They don't believe in freedom. They don't believe in our Constitution. They don't believe in the founding fathers, in George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. They don't believe in the rule of law. They don't believe in democracy. They don't believe in our flag. They don't believe in our country. Vladimir Putin will be proud when he meets Donald Trump next week. That's a story we're talking about next. He will be proud that these guys are acting like communist thugs. Very scary stuff. Very scary stuff. So next story, Trump. Trump just announced he's going to be meeting with Putin next week. His special envoy to Putin had a breakthrough. Well, what was the quote? Productive, constructive, highly productive talk with Putin today. And he's going to meet with Putin next week to talk about Ukraine. So we've now got Taco is in full taco mode. Trump is now flip-flopping again, right? Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Big Hawk. Please, thank you, Leanne. Please keep the gifts coming, guys. I do this for a living. Your gifts pay the bills, so thank you for that. Thank you, Running, for the club power, and Jean especially for the good evening. Trump is now back on the I love Big Putin bandwagon. Putin talked about, I think we talked about this last night. Putin was talking about some kind of air ceasefire last night or something. Well, they had 3 hours of talks with Trump's envoy and with Putin's envoy, and it was so good. He's going to meet Putin next week, and Trump thinks he's going to schedule a meeting with Putin and Zelensky shortly thereafter. And Trump, a couple things here. One, you typically don't want to have meetings like this unless you get something out of it. You don't just do it. Putin is dying to meet with Trump. Putin is dying after being isolated for years because of the illegal invasion of Ukraine. Putin wants to be on stage with Trump. He wants Trump, ironically, Trump to give him credibility. So Putin wants Trump there. Trump shouldn't go there unless he gets something massive, right? You don't go unless Putin is willing to accept an unconditional ceasefire. Then maybe you go. right? But Trump's going anyway. Who knows what he's going to get out of this? I think it's a taco. I think Trump was dying to meet with Putin. I think Trump is dying to have his best friend, his BFF, or his KG BFF, Putin, back. Let's see what happens. I mean, hopefully we're still in a situation where Putin is, Trump is still pissed at Putin. Now, keep in mind, I still think Putin, let's see what happens here, right? Because Putin runs the risk of screwing this up. You can't take the dictator out of the man, right? He runs Donald Trump. He is not going to coddle Donald Trump. He is not going to give Donald Trump what he wants. So you still have a really good chance of Trump getting really angry and really embarrassed next week. But scary stuff, because I smell a taco in the air, and let's see what happens. And especially the idea that Trump is going to meet with Putin and Zelensky. And again, if Trump is angry at Putin, that could be good. If Trump is going full taco on us and suddenly becoming Putin's best friend again, I don't want him tag teaming against Zelensky, which Trump could easily do. Very, very weird stuff going on. What else we got here? Oh, in good news, the White House announced today it was putting 25% additional, it put 25% tariffs on India because it can. They're putting an additional 25% tariffs, making 50% tariffs on Indian goods coming in as punishment for India buying Russian oil. That's good. Now, let's see if this stays, because, right, if Trump reaches some deal with Putin, is he going to leave the sanctions on India? See, this is where it gets complicated, right? Even right now, is he going to leave the sanctions on India now that he's agreed to meet Putin? I don't know. But as of earlier today, we had good news, because Trump was at least putting tariffs on India. Now, mind you, it's not that good of news, because it's tariffs on you and me. They're taxes that you and I have to pay, because that's how tariffs work. Tariffs are actually a tax on Americans, but it does punish the Indians as well for buying Russian oil and gas, or Russian oil, I think, is more what the Indians buy. So that's a good thing. An Army sergeant using a personal handgun opened fire on his unit at Fort Stewart, Georgia today. 5 soldiers were wounded in the attack, which ended when other soldiers tackled the gunman. None of the soldiers' injuries were life-threatening. All are expected to recover. I believe he was another soldier. All right, he was an Army sergeant, and they do not yet know his motives, but, it's America. His motives could have been Wednesday for why he did a mass shooting, because that's what we do here, unfortunately. Democrats, The Guardian had a really number of good updates about Democrats in Texas. As you may recall, Texas Republicans are trying to steal the 2024 congressional elections in Congress. Republicans are at this point set to lose control of the House of Representatives potentially in next year's election. Donald Trump ordered them to steal the election, so that's what they're trying to do now. Literally, Trump ordered them to steal 5 Democratic seats before the election so that Democrats lose. And what Republicans are now doing is they are pretty much, it's pretty illegal, frankly, what they're doing, but the country we live in right now, that doesn't mean they're going to be stopped. But they're gerrymandering, where basically it's very complicated, but the states write the maps dividing up congressional districts, so members of our parliament, members of our Congress. And every 10 years after there's a new census, each state gets told, okay, you used to have 20 members of Congress, now you only have 18, so you've got to redraw the geography, the 18 areas of your state for each congressman, right? Well, both parties try to draw the state in a way that favors their party, right? Chop up the Republicans into multiple areas so they don't get a majority, give the Democrats a lot, whatever. But they wait until, and the courts can intervene to a degree, but they wait until the new census. Republicans are trying something new because Trump ordered them to. Republicans are trying to do it the middle of the decade, 2025, which no one does that. No one does that. The second thing is, no one does what Trump did. Trump came out and literally said this week, I want you to steal 5 seats. He literally said, I want you to take 5 Democratic seats and get rid of them. No one does that in this country. And again, granted, I don't like gerrymandering. I don't like when either party does this, but usually you try to at least pretend you've got a reason for how you're doing it. But to come out and literally say, as Trump did, and Google it, Trump said, take 5 Democratic seats. I deserve them. I got a lot of votes. I want 5 Democratic seats. That is, and again, it gets us back to authoritarian. It's communist Chinese. It's communist Russian, Soviet. It's what they would do in Venezuela. It is not what you do in America. It is what you do in America today. Completely illegal, completely undemocratic. So Democrats have responded, and they ought to. Democrats have responded saying they're going to take 5 seats in Illinois and California. Now, they've only got a few days. California, I believe, only has 5 days to announce that they're going to do it. Illinois, hopefully, is going to do it too. Now, what the Democrats have announced, and you got to give the Democrats credit, because again, this is the way you actually act in a democracy if you believe in freedom. Democrats have said, if Republicans do this, if they steal 5 seats, Democrats will take 5 seats back, and that's it. Which I got to tell you, right? It's tempting to say, screw it, take 20 seats. But Democrats aren't doing that because they, as Hillary Clinton always says, Democrats have to be the adults in the room. So Democrats have said, if Republicans steal 5 seats, Democrats will go and steal 5 seats back. And then we'll be back to where we were, which at least is fair. It's the mature, it's the adult thing. Let's see what happens. Very scary stuff. Very scary stuff. And again, very un-American, but this is the country we live in now. A lot of people don't believe in democracy anymore. They don't believe in freedom. Every time I feel something in my arm now, the ants are gone at the moment, but I still keep feeling like I feel ants. So I keep looking around going, ugh. But so far, so good. We've had 2 days ant-free, so that's good. Anyway, very scary stuff. What else we got? RFK Jr. RFK Jr. just canceled $500 million in funding for mRNA vaccines. mRNA are the exciting new frontier in vaccines. They used it for the COVID vaccine. Okay? Hugely exciting what this is. Way quicker, way easier to develop new vaccines. And Kennedy just killed it because the conspiracy people don't like them, of course, because they used it to basically stop COVID and to stop COVID from spreading as significantly, to stop people from getting as sick. And of course, they don't like that. They don't believe they're again, the anti-science people don't want America. I don't know how to describe this, guys. It's very scary what's going on. It's incredibly scary what's going on. You know, I don't know how you can be anti-science. I don't know how you can believe in conspiracy theories, which Robert F. Kennedy Jr. does and talks about repeatedly. You know, I mean, this is the guy who's put out the notion, his people have put out the notion that the polio vaccine doesn't work. That's crazy. Of course, the polio vaccine works. Polio vaccine is quite possibly the greatest scientific achievement. Well, certainly the greatest medical achievement in history, potentially. And Kennedy's people think it doesn't work. You know, I mean, crazy thing, absolutely crazy. And they're canceling $500 million in funding for vaccines. Again, this is what those people voted for. And it's what's scary. Two things are scary. They're embarrassed. If you notice the trolls during the show, they're embarrassed enough that they always deny it, right? Everything I tell you that Trump has done, the trolls are horribly, they don't say, yeah. They say, that's not true. Those are lies. So, I mean, the only good news is they're embarrassed of their own positions. The problem is they still won the election. So their guy is still in power, right? And very scary stuff. I mean, big surprise, right? I mean, Kennedy, just forget it. You know, my God, the stuff he said. He claimed that the AIDS virus targeted Black people differently. Total lie. Total conspiracy lie. I've worked on the issue. Total lie. I forgot what he said. He said a couple different things this week that were crazy talk. And everybody, all the scientists I followed jumped in and went, yeah, that's insane. It's not true. Yeah. Oh, so in the meanwhile, as part of Trump's deflection from Epstein, Trump is bringing back several statues of Confederate leaders to Washington, D.C. Now, the Confederates are the traitors who tried to overthrow our country in the Civil War in the 1860s. It's perhaps not surprising that Trump and his people are supportive of traitors who tried to overthrow the American government by force, because all you have to do is think back to January 6th and the insurrection. But still, it kind of boggles my mind. I'm from the North. I'm from Chicago. I don't care about the Civil War. I care, sure. Ending slavery, great. But I don't really care. It was 1860. What I mean by care is we've got a contingent in this country, and this is what Trump is sucking up to here, who actually care about the Civil War, like as if it happened yesterday. I kid you not. And unfortunately, the South especially, there are people in the South, they get very upset when discussing the Civil War. And it's like, guys, it was 1860. Nobody freaking cares anymore. But especially from oh my God, the Confederacy was so aggrieved. Really? I had somebody say that to me today on TikTok. Oh, the Confederacy was so aggrieved. And I'm like, dude, it was 160 years ago. Get over it. You lost, right? Stop making excuses for the evil men who believed in slavery and tried to overthrow the government violently and divide the country. Just give it up at this point. But this is Trump. This is Epstein. Yasu James. This is Epstein. Absolutely. Trump is trying to find things to suck up to his base because the base is so pissed off about Trump refusing to release the Epstein files, about Trump being part of the cover-up now on Epstein. So he says, well, you know what? Unfortunately, Trump's base likes to defend traitors like the Confederates. So he's going to put their statues back. Pretty screwy stuff, I have to say. What else we got here? Brazilian President Lula says he's not going to initiate talks with Trump. You may recall Trump put 50% tariffs on Brazil because Trump is upset that Brazil has the rule of law and they are prosecuting the former president of Brazil for trying to overthrow his government. Brazil has a history of coups. Of course, America does too. Very scary stuff in Brazil. And they're prosecuting the former leader Bolsonaro for trying to overthrow the government. So Trump has put a tariff on Brazil to try to force the democratic courts in Brazil to let the former president go for trying to overthrow the government in a coup. Epstein, right? Finally, where was this? Oh, this was actually very good. So The Guardian, this was the last little update from The Guardian. When Trump fought for and won the 2024 presidential election, his victory was built partly on the false assertion that Democrats were responsible for an out-of-control crime wave in the U.S., with murders and rapes at record highs. Figures released by the FBI on Tuesday, however, confirmed that the nation was as safe as it ever had been during the final full year of the Biden administration. Every category of crime decreased in frequency, and violent crime in particular dropped to levels not seen since the 1960s. This was something I had talked about actually during the election. I told people, and I said, actually, America is, I'm going to adjust my camera now so I can sit back. America is safer than it has been in 50 or 60 years. And all the Trump supporters freaked out and said, no, that's a lie. That's not true. And he was lying. Yeah. Oh, the cats. Oh, the dogs. He was lying. And what a freaking surprise at this point. So anyway, that was a lot of news, and I somehow went through it quickly, and I don't know how, because that was a lot of news, actually. That was a lot of news. Anyway, crazy stuff. Yeah, exactly. The crime in Washington, D.C. is out of control. Now, that's true. That's a very good point and very true. Here, still adjusting my camera. There we go. That's good enough. There we go. The cats, the dogs. Putin responded, somebody said. What did they say? I did talk about Fort Stewart, Derek. Yep, they didn't know any news yet of what was going on. They didn't know why the sergeant opened fire. There was no motive yet. So we don't know, at least as of, half an hour ago that I was looking, 40 minutes ago, I was looking at this. Maybe that may be Solak. Yes, we may have had fewer tangents today because I had 4 pages of news. I was like, this is going to take a while. And I started a little late because I was doing a TikTok video literally right before we started the show. you know, now DC, the thing is, DC does have crime. But by the way, I found out what Trump was rambling about. So Trump is talking about like nationalizing Washington, D.C. and taking it over because some kid got mugged. This is the stuff that always kind of boggles my mind with Trump, right? Because some kid one of the Doge kids got mugged. And Elon, of course, Elon Musk had to lie about it, as Elon will do, as Elon is wont to do. No, the kid got mugged and it was bad, okay? I'm not going to defend that. The kid's an ass, but I'm not going to defend him getting mugged. He was with a date or a girlfriend, whatever, at their car. I will say, at DuPont Circle at 3 a.m., you're crazy. Nobody. This town is not safe. It's never been safe. You don't. At 3 a.m., you shouldn't be getting into your car anywhere. 12 or so teens are walking by and come up to him as his girlfriend's getting in the car and demand his phone, is what the story is. He basically shoves the girl in the car and shuts the door and says, lock it, which actually is not a terrible idea. So he she locked herself safely, and they beat him up. I mean, 12 kids beat him up. That's pretty bad. Now, Elon, being Elon, because Elon Musk, of course, cannot tell a true story if it kills him. Elon says, he was walking down the street and he saw 12 young men trying to carjack a beautiful woman. And he ran to the car and he saved the woman, but they beat him up. No, he did not see a woman in a car. It was his girlfriend. They were not trying to carjack them. They were trying to steal his phone. But he did shove his girlfriend in the car and lock the door, which was very smart of him and very brave. Again, I'm not going to knock the kid for doing this, but don't lock it. Don't lie about it. The thing I don't get with Elon is there is literally no sphincter on the man with regards to the truth. He will repeat any crazy conspiracy bullshit that he wants, and he doesn't care that he's spreading it around the world. Doesn't care. No, there's something wrong with him, and people like to blame it on Asperger's or whatever it is. No, this is a little more basic. I think the problem. There's something wrong with people who just think it's okay to lie. You know? Yeah, I could have skipped a page. Did I skip? I don't think I skipped a page. No. Nope. Lula, Democratic lawmakers, Texas, Russia. Yeah, no, I just got through it fast. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the news for today. Let's hang and talk as we always do anyway. We can talk about the ice cream. The ice cream. I bought a fridge. I had to buy a fridge. My fridge is acting up again, so I had to buy. I'm not happy about this because every fridge is terrible by the reviews. But I bought a fridge from Costco. What do you do? I'm going to deal with it. Let's see what happens. No ants in 2 days, so that's good. I almost bought one of those. A friend of mine is now yelling at me, going, "Why didn't you do it?" I almost bought one of those fridges that has the freezer on top because they're simpler and they tend to work, and they're cheaper and they work. The problem is, I seem to remember not liking the freezer on top. It reminds me of being in a rental, and I just was like, I don't think I want that. So I didn't do it, but I'm a little nervous about this, it does not have water. No, because that was just 2 more things to break, Oh, you're the one, Big Hawk. Okay. It was excellent. It was absolutely excellent. Yeah. The fridge does not have Wi-Fi. No, I was like, there's no way. Bingo. Joshua, I was like, I want an ice maker and that's it. It has an ice. The problem is, it still has it's got a Sabbath mode. It's got like stupid computer technology in it that I don't want because it's stuff that's just waiting to break. But what do? There's not a lot you can do about it. So in any case, yeah, my freezer's underneath. And the new one is just like the current one I've got. The freezer, it's bigger than the one I've got, which I like, but there wasn't much I could do. We'll see. Your first day of 11th grade? Does that mean you were teaching or you're in 11th grade? Yes, try the ice cream French toast tomorrow. Oh, well, welcome. I'm not used to people in high school being on our show that I know of. So welcome. Good for you. Tomorrow, August 6th. God, that's early. Man, that's really early. Ugh, that sucks. Sabbath mode, a Jewish friend explained to me. Um, you're not allowed to turn on lights or something during the Sabbath, and refrigerators have a light that turns on automatically. So you can turn it on Sabbath mode that on Saturday or whatever, I think, the light won't turn on when you open the fridge, which I was like, okay, if you're devoutly religious, what do? Um, you did make the vanilla ice cream French toast. Yeah, it was shockingly good. Shockingly good. Um, so so there you go. That's what Sabbath mode is. No, we'll see. I mean, it's an LG. Everyone hates LG. LG was the top recommendation by Consumer Reports, but everybody hates them. It had great reviews on Costco, a lot of them. What do you do? There's nothing you can do. You know what I mean? They all suck. So Costco gives you an extra year. So I got 2 years warranty. I spent another $100 and got another 3 years because refrigerators suck. So I've got 5 years warranty. I was like, maybe that's the best you can do. I mean, I am not thrilled about this. And warranties are still sucky too. I've dealt with warranties before. They're not good, generally speaking, but they're all bad. Is Samsung the bad one? Oh, Samsung's the one everybody hates. Okay. People do not like warranties though. Well, that's the thing. Nothing's covered under the warranty. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for everything that breaks being. No, this fridge that I had, it's a GE. It's 20 years old. I've been here 16 years. It's 20 years old. It's had one problem. The motherboard broke once. That's it. No, I just don't want to hear about fridges. You're going to freak me out. No more about fridges. But this one's been working for 20 years. It had one problem years ago where the motherboard broke. It got replaced, and that was it. And it started goofing up last year, so it lasted 19 years. Not bad. It's a GE. It just lasted 19 years. It's a GE. I think it's that nicer brand. Like, is it Select or something? It's got a name that's like a little nicer. I was surprised because I was like, "There's a nicer GE," and they were like, "Yeah." But it's other than the last year, it's been good. So Profile, thank you. It's Profile. Thank you, Ann. That's exactly what it is. Profile. Yep. General Electric. Yep. So, it wasn't cheap. It wasn't the worst, but it wasn't cheap. It was like $1,500, which I'm not happy. But the problem, it's a long story on the fridges. The problem is my space is skinny, which sucks because the depth is good. The height is good. The width is So most of the fridges I want, the width did not work. So I was very limited in what I could get. What do you do? We'll see. I mean, it is what it is. I've got to deal with the Costco installment, which I'm not happy because they usually suck too. But they're all garbage now, unfortunately. I mean, knock on wood, my washer and dryer is going on 2 years. I love it. I've got the LG everybody else has with the ding, 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 ding. It's wonderful. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's a small space, but it's a smaller space. And you're limited in what you can buy, unfortunately. So what do you do? I need an American fridge made for Europe. I mean, it's not small, but it's pretty small. I mean, I was very surprised. Chocolate souffle. I did get the extent. I mean, I got it's an LG. Oh, I don't know the model. 2306, 2603 or something. Costco did a good job with yours. Okay. Well, because the Costco guy, it's not Costco, of course, but the Costco guys that installed my washer and dryer were horrible. They were horrible. Now my fridge, I can't remember if my fridge has been 2 years or 1 year. Did I get 1 more year out of it or 2 more years? I can't remember. Maybe it was just 1 more year. I thought it was 2. Maybe it was 1 more year. I didn't remember, but I did get an extra year, which isn't the worst thing ever, It might've been last summer. Okay. It might've been. Yeah. I mean, Costco, the thing is, Costco is very good. If it turns into a real lemon and the warranty isn't covering it, I can bitch to Costco and you never know. Maybe something will happen. You never know. I mean, it's a refrigerator, so who knows, but we'll see. I mean, I just don't, I'm a little frugal. I don't like spending money. So I don't, speaking of which, gifts, Keep the gifts coming. Daddy had to buy a new fridge yesterday. But I don't like spending money on stuff, on big things. So I've been holding off. The temperature was not perfect, but okay. And finally, yesterday, the temperature started to go like, or it started to go like this. So the temperature is, thank you for the gift, by the way. Who was that? Oh, that was Chazak. Thank you, Chazak. And thank you, Rose. And thank you, Chazak again, running on coffee. Fridge gifts, exactly. But now the temperature is, I'm not even going to tell you, it's borderline the temperature. It's okay, but it's not great. So I was like, all right, I don't have a choice. I've got to get the new fridge. So, and hopefully it arrives before I go to Chicago. So you can turn the ding off at the settings screen. Oh, well, yeah, but I don't really mind it. I find it useful. I had a GE, I think it was before, a washer dryer, and that damn thing, the dryer would go when it was done, jump out of my skin every time. The dog too, before Sasha started losing her hearing, she would like jump up every time, and you couldn't turn it off. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. Literally, that horrible sound like a fire alarm going off. Oh my God. Whereas the music is kind of cute on my LG. It's like dee 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 dee. Thank you for the hat, Diana. Thank you, Deb, for the chili. Amy, Deb, lots of little gifts from Deb. Thank you, Deb. But I do the Saturday show. Yes, Jamie, the Saturday shows are for the paid subscribers, the monthly subscribers, as a thank you. But still doing them. Yep. What do you mean, Emil? Computer screen and internet on our new ref? What does that mean? Your laundry is done now. Thanks for doing a load. That's funny. Do I think Putin goes to DC? Maybe, which is also upsetting because of the war crime stuff too. Vlad's good. I asked, I finally got Anthony. I was like, what's up with Vlad? Vlad's good. Right? Can somebody help Deb with a subscription? Deb's a longtime supporter. She is. Deb's been here since the beginning. She's a curmudgeon, but a good curmudgeon. I will say you're a little bit of a curmudgeon sometimes, but you're a good one. But if anybody can help Deb. Oh, somebody got Jamie too. Thank you guys for helping Jamie. But if somebody can get Deb too, that'd be nice. Yeah, that was nice. Dave, we love Jamie too. So, and Jamie's one of our younger ones too. So we like to help them. Well, maybe you're not a kid anymore. Are you a kid? I keep forgetting. Are you still a kid, Jamie? Or are you like college now? I forget. I think you were a kid when I interviewed you. 17. Okay, Jamie's still a kid. Yeah. I was going to say, when I interviewed with you, I thought you might have been 15. Oh, there we go. Somebody got Deb. Thank you, guys. Yeah, no, Jamie had kind of I don't know if you call it a podcast, kind of a video podcast, but we talked about foreign policy. You would have 15. Wow. 15, but did a good interview about like foreign policy, Ukraine and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, but it was very good. Yeah. Thanks, guys. What are you doing? What you want? Oh, she wants water. Sasha wants water. 1 second here. 1 second here. All right. A little more water. Okay. Okay. Here you go. All right. I actually have to make more bread too. I have to make more bread as well. Thank you, Noah, for paying for my DC lifestyle. Exactly. Sasha has grown accustomed to a certain lifestyle, So thank you, Noah. That was nice of you. Oh, you subscribed even. Thank you. Oh no, you've been a member for 9 months. That's right. You didn't just subscribe, you've been a member. Thank you. Anyway, we can do another. Did we do 2 interviews already? I thought we did 1. We did 2. I'll do another interview with you. I don't mind. Anyway, what else is going on, guys? Some ref have a monitor built in. What's a ref? I don't know what a ref is. You mean a fridge? I don't know what a ref is. That may be foreign talk or something, Emil. A refrigerator. Oh, a refrigerator. I don't know where you're from. In America, we say fridge. We say fridge. That's funny. Ref. That's cute. Wait, are you American? Where are you from, Emil? I don't remember. I mean, your name's ethnic, but that doesn't mean anything. All our names are ethnic in America. Refrigerator. Okay. Where are you from, Emil? I don't remember. Or are you American and you just use a funny nickname? That's funny. Bye, Frank. A ref. That is hilarious. I know ref in America means referee. It's like a sports referee, a ref or a reference. Yeah. England, you say fridge too? Yep. Oh, that's good. Shane, Paula says, we call it a fridge in English too. We speak English, Paula. I always love when the Brits do that. Oh, well, in English, we say, I'm like, yeah, we say that too. We speak English too. Oh, that's scary, Sarah. From Maryland, but originally from country whose flag I can't recognize. What flag is that? Yeah, we would typically not say ref because a ref is going to be a referee here. Yeah. Although I'm going to guess maybe European because you Europeans love to use flags. Maybe you're Latin American, but Philippines. There you go. It's Philippines. Okay. I was going to say it drives me. Europeans are usually the ones that use flags. And I'm always like, I have no idea what flag that is. Oh, you're Philippines. Okay. That's funny. Ref. That is hilarious. A ref. Yeah, no, this one should not have a screen. It's got an ice maker inside and that is it. I mean, the water thing is cute, but I would have loved a water dispenser. But once I read up on it and the ice cube thing in the cup, they're cute. But once I read up on it, I was like, Friend of mine got a one with the 2 doors, the ice maker in the door, it broke the first year. And because it's all inside the door, he couldn't fix it himself because you have to take the door off. It was crazy. So yeah, because it breaks, Aaron. Oh, thank you guys. You guys are giving gifts now. Who gave DBZ the subscription? Thank you guys. American English. I mean, we would say American English if we were trying to distinguish from the Brits. But we would not say we speak American English. No, we would say we speak English. You'd never say we speak American English. I would say it only to distinguish from the Brits. If somebody were to ask me, or even in Europe, I might ask somebody, come on in. I might ask somebody and say, oh, when you studied English in school, did you study American? By the way, we would say American English or British English. We wouldn't say American English or English. We'd say American English or British English. And sure, if you asked me, do you speak American or British English? I'd say I speak American English. Yeah. But an American would never say I speak American English. No. You'd say I speak English. I'm American. Yeah. Oh, funny. Paul, I had an American style fridge in the UK for a year or so. When I moved, I nearly cried as I had nowhere to put it because it was so big. That's funny. My friends in France had the smallest freaking refrigerator on the planet. It used to drive me crazy. And my fridge is already pretty nice. This new one is bigger and it's still a small fridge for America, but it's bigger, which makes me happy. Leave the Brits alone. The Aussies speak British. See, I wouldn't say that either. I'd say Australia. First of all, I say Australia, New Zealand speak English. But then if you asked, I'd say it's not really British English. They've got their own thing, Queen's English. See, but I think the Queen's English. Isn't the Queen's English like ho, 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 ho? Isn't that the Queen's English? Like the hoity-toity. That's the Queen's English. Or does Queen's English mean British English? I don't think so. Or does it? Right? For us, I think we think Queen's English, we think the Queen's English, like it's going to be very proper. In the living room for weeks. Oh God. Yeah, like BBC proper. There you go. Posh. Exactly. I think of BBC proper English when I hear Queen's English. Exactly. Thank you, Smurf. Right. That's exactly. Okay. That's what I thought. Oh, RP. Oh, that's the like some of the movie stars speak. Like what's her face from she was in Rome, the series. She was the redhead in Rome. She was in whatever of witches, the collection of witches, whatever the hell the TV show was I was telling you guys about. Not Hepburn. She was in Rome, in the movie Rome, the TV series Rome. And she's from like Scotland or somewhere else, but she now does the BBC accent, the RP accent. Received pronunciation. Discovery of Witches. What's her name? The redhead mother vampire. She was in Rome as well, and she's not English, I believe. She's British, but she's not English. But now she does a proper British accent, and that is her accent now. Yeah, which is interesting. Because I was Googling her because I loved her in Rome. She was very good in Rome. Nope. Discovery of Witches. Very good series, actually. Sort of short series, but a good one. Anyway, yeah, so refrigerator. Hopefully I get it in a week from Friday, and hopefully it arrives in time. I'm a little nervous about, trying to eat down some of my food. I'm trying to eat down the food. So like tonight I'm going to make some pasta to like get my Discovery Witches. Yep. So I can get some of the, start eating the food in my freezer. You know what I mean? So we'll see. But as I said, I'll do pasta tonight just to begin winnowing it down. So very London accent. Oh, that's fun though. I guess depending what London accent you've got. To an America, I'm sure it's nice. Belgravia. I've not heard of Belgravia, I don't think. Australian actors are good at doing an American accent. The summit, the summit could be as early as next week with Trump and Putin. That's all we were told so far. Cockney. Someone asked Paul if you have a Cockney accent. I'm going to assume, I shouldn't laugh. Maybe she does, but I don't think so. You guys do have a ton of accents for a small island. It's kind of amazing. Yeah, it is kind of amazing. Belgravia. I don't know of it. I don't think I know what it is. Oh, yeah, I don't think so. Ugh. The American accent called a singing accent? I don't know. British accents are fun though. We find them fun. I mean, honestly, accents are fun. Any accent in English tends to be interesting because it's English, but it's accented for us. So it's like, oh, that's interesting. The British thing, if it's educated, the British stuff totally knocks us off our feet. You can get away with anything if you're British and you've got a high class accent. Oh my God. Everybody thinks you're brilliant here. Remember the guy in West Wing who died. He was gay. But he played the British ambassador, remember, in West Wing? And he would get away with murder with his accent. And he would always comment on the president's wife and talk about her body hilariously. But he was such a good actor. But he would do it with that accent. Just brilliant. Prince Andrew. Yeah, not Prince Andrew. Somebody knows who I mean. Dark-haired, beautiful hair. He was the British ambassador in West Wing. Somebody look him up. He was great though. But had a great accent, great way of carrying himself, but was doing that educated British posh, educated, a little vulgar, like to drink, very funny, but would get away with, like I said, he would always comment on the president's wife and her boobs and stuff, and would get away with it because it was a great accent. Very funny. Anyway. Oh, Belgravia is Julian Fellows. Oh, that's interesting. I did like James Bond, exactly. I did like Downton Abbey. I love Downton Abbey. This shirt is from Amazon. It's a great shirt. The only thing is you've got to look around on Amazon because there were many different varieties. There were several varieties of this. This one I got for whatever reason because I liked the design. The thing is, it ended up being, it wasn't expensive. I mean, $15, whatever, but it ended up being a really nice shirt, which I was shocked. Like it fits well, which a lot of t-shirts just don't fit well. They look goofy. They're made in Vietnam and they're made for like homunculuses or something, right? This actually fits well. So anyway, yeah. So Google it on Amazon. It's very good. Glaswegian. Call the Midwife. I may have tried and gave up on Call the Midwife. I like it. But again, there's a couple different varieties, so I don't know. Boy, my Photoshop. I subscribe to Photoshop because I do use it for for this stuff. And Photoshop went up from $10 a month to $15 or $16 a month. Woo! So I bought a 1-year subscription, which kept it at $10 a month because I bought a year in advance, but I don't know next year whether it jumps up. But I was like, oh my God, a 50% increase in Photoshop subscriptions? That's insane. It's absolutely insane. Very upset about that. So, oh, hey, Arctic, we know who you are. Yes, I think we know who you are. You are usually on YouTube. I never see you over here on TikTok. That's surprising. Yeah, I know you buy the software and own it. It's very annoying too. I mean, paying 120 a year for Photoshop, although Photoshop is not cheap and it's nice to get it updated. I like GIMP. I will say I do like Photoshop. I've always liked Photoshop. I would use GIMP when I had to, but I would use GIMP when I had to. But I'm better at Photoshop, you know. But I mean, now what I do, favorite dinosaur. I know favorite dinosaur is tough. I've always, since I was a kid, I always liked brontosauruses, which I always forget what they're called now. But it's hard to say beyond that. I tend to like big. I do think Triceratops is fun. I still think Brontosaurus is impressive because I like the size of it. Thank you, Jamie. T-Rex is not my favorite. Getty Images charging $450 a year for membership. Wow. Wow. Spinosaurus is fun. I saw a documentary about the Spinosaurus when they were trying to figure out what it was. And like they had parts of it or something in Egypt 100 years ago or something like that. It was very interesting. It must have been Nova or something. It was very interesting. Exactly. Dino from The Simpsons. That's my favorite. Apatosaurus. Is that what we call Brontosaurus now? I always forget. Remember on the Fred Flintstone, they would get the Brontosaurus steak that would knock the car over. Flintstones were great. Dino. The state fossil, I love that you have a state fossil for Colorado, is the Stegosaurus. Stegosauruses were good. Remember the Far Side, the Thagomizer? Named after the unfortunate Thag. But I don't know. I mean, although I forget whether, although pterodactyls aren't I know Aravosaurus would work, wouldn't it? I'd have to discover something, but it would work. Aravosaurus would work. But pterodactyls aren't dinosaurs, though, I think, right? I seem to remember they're not quite dinosaurs. Am I right or am I wrong about that? I thought pterodactyls were not dinosaurs, or am I wrong? I remember there being like some exception there. Am I right? Deb knows her dinosaurs. I think so, because I remember, yeah, they're not. Okay, no, I was going to say, that's what I remember. Yeah, Jeffrey says the same. Yep. Well, but birds, here's the problem, though. Birds are considered dinosaurs, but birds are dinosaurs, right? So which way does it go? Because I thought pterodactyls were not dinosaurs, but birds are dinosaurs. Not I think. Birds are called dinosaurs now, yes. But pterodactyls are not the same as birds. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you think pterodactyls as being birds, but no. I did do a Dino, yeah. Oh, that might have been the Jetsons. Was that the Jetsons dog? That would do the kind of, as long as you believe it's real. Okay, that works. I know I could do ChatGPT, but again, ChatGPT does lie sometimes. Birds are descended from dinosaurs, but I don't know, like I said, about, but pterodactyls are not. Just to clarify if I'm right, comma, but birds are descended from dinosaurs, but pterodactyls are not, comma. If that's true, then what is the connection between birds and pterodactyls, or is there none? Let's see what it says. Oops, where's my glasses? Birds are descended from dinosaurs, from the theropods. That's right, the theropods, which have the like 3 little toes, which include famous species like Velociraptor and Tyrannosaurus rex. Theropods were bipedal, mostly carnivorous, and many had feathers. Birds are technically living dinosaurs. Pterodactyls are not dinosaurs. Pterodactyls belong to a separate group called pterosaurs, which were flying reptiles. Oh, you were right. Whoever said reptiles. Flying reptiles that lived during the same time as dinosaurs, but are not classified as dinosaurs. They're more like cousins. Birds and pterodactyls share a common ancestor. Birds and pterodactyls are archosaurs, a larger group that includes, well, but that's a larger group that includes dinosaurs, pterosaurs, and crocodiles. So, okay, but that's not really, I mean, they're as related as crocodiles are related to birds. So it's not that close. Okay. There you go. Okay. Yeah. All right. There we go. I was going to say, that's what I thought. I remember because we think of flying dinosaurs as flying, but the bird connection wasn't there. So interesting. Well, it's not splitting hairs though. It's a completely evolutionary different group. Like I said, crocodiles, dinosaurs, and birds were 3 different evolutionary groups way back when. Think of Deep Blue. So if you think of a crocodile being different from a bird, it's pretty different, right? That's how different a dinosaur is from a bird. Not a dinosaur. How different a pterodactyl is from a bird is the same difference that a crocodile would be different. That's pretty different. So it's because I was thinking perhaps they were like the same thing. They were an offshoot of each other of a flying animal. They're not. The offshoot happened and you had a dinosaur offshoot and a bird offshoot. It's literally not dinosaur. I keep doing it. A pterodactyl offshoot and a dinosaur offshoot is the difference. That's pretty different. Yeah. No, I don't think that's a subtle difference at all. Yeah, I think it's quite different actually. Pterodactyl is a flying reptile. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Sharks predate trees. I know sharks go, I think of sharks as being 300 million years or something. How far back although were they longer? And how far back are trees? I don't remember. Usually we do our food discussion. Today we're doing a dinosaur discussion. So something different. Which is 400 million years though? Which? The sharks are 400 million years? Then what are trees? Are trees like, well, trees are over 200 because I think my petrified wood is 225 or so. Are trees 300 maybe? I can ask Google or Alexa. My Alexa drives me crazy. That's why trees are wood, you think? How old is the oldest shark and how old is the oldest tree? Meaning, when did trees begin and when did sharks begin? There we go. Sharks began around 450 million years. Trees began around 385 million, so it's still pretty far. Still pretty far. 385 for trees versus 450 for sharks. That's still pretty good. Dinosaurs, 230 million years. So that's amazing when you think of it. The dinosaurs were around for almost 200 million years before they got wiped out. 170. That's amazing. Yeah, 170. Yeah, that's amazing. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting. Alexa, raise the temperature 1 degree. I'm telling you, Aravosaurus would be a great dino name. Correct, Sobo. It really would. Remember me out there. But Aravosaurus, it does because it's Aravosaurus. It does though. You're right. It works. I like it. Just saying. You know, if you're looking for a name, looking to suck up, you want me to adopt you once I get my Greek citizenship, it's a good way to do it. What we learned for kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, we learned kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. What was the for good spaghetti? Was that it? I don't remember I just remember the saying kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. I just remember the thing itself. I don't remember what the mnemonic was. King Philip came over for good spaghetti, but that's only kingdom, phylum, class, order, family. Oh, you're missing family. Okay. Oh, no, you're not. You forgot family. Family's in there. King Philip came over for good spaghetti. Yeah, you forgot to put family in there. So family is in there, Tom. Yeah. Yeah, it's there. You just forgot to put it in there. Maybe that is maybe that's how we remembered. I remember it now. Anyway. And the nerves in the head were on old Olympus towering tops, a Finnan German viewed some hops. But good olfactory, optical, old Olympus. And I can't remember the other nerves. But we had to learn that in high school with our fetal pigs. I think that the nerves going to the brain maybe or something. But that was how you memorized the nerves. Don't remember them anymore. Surprised I remember that. I'll give the mnemonic credit. I remember it from senior year of high school, 16 years old. That's pretty, or 17 years old. That's pretty. Oh, the cranial nerves. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty good. Do I think Ukraine can launch a counteroffensive this year? No. Unfortunately. Yep. An old Olympus towering tops, a Finn and German viewed some hops. It doesn't quite make sense. I don't know what a hops is. It doesn't quite make sense, but our biology teacher taught us that one, and we were like, it worked, And then you just had to remember, like, okay, olfactory, optical, like I said, whatever the other ones are. Vega, viewed, Vega, I guess, or Vegas. Pig Latin, no. Okay, Emil knows the cranial nerves. I didn't really like the Jurassic, but you view some hops. It's a little weird. I didn't love the Jurassic movie series. I like Jurassic Park. I didn't really like any of the sequels that I watched. I tried several of the sequels, didn't love them, tried. But as I said, I did not love them, unfortunately. So what do you do? Oops, turn off my air conditioning, still getting cold. What about the books? What books? Oh, there's Jurassic Park books, Spinal Accessory and Hypoglossal. I don't even remember any of them. I remember Vegas. Like I said, I barely remember any of them. I mean, it was a very long time ago. Yeah, the first was excellent. The other ones, Too bad, though, because it was such a neat concept for a series. Those are the last three. It's too bad. Oh, the books came before the movie. Yeah, I've never read the books. No. I forgot about that. Michael Crichton, they were books. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, don't know. Russian forces dying in comparison to Ukraine? Yes. I'm trying to remember. Well, dying, but it's probably like injured. The number could be 3 or 4 to 1. It could be 3 to 1. It could be 4 to 1. The only issue, though, is, well, no, it's not 4 to 1. It's not 4 to 1 because the number of Russians dying isn't as much as the population difference between Ukraine and Russia. So Russia is 2.5 times the size. Russia is like a little over 3 times the size of Ukraine, but the number of Russian dead might be 2 times the Ukrainian or injured. So it's more Russians than Ukrainians, but it's a larger percentage of the Ukrainian population. That's what it is. I know the T-Rex ate the lawyer, exactly. Sasha, she wants more water. It is 1:15. We're going to call it quits since we're protecting my voice. But yeah, I tried the other ones. I didn't love them. So what do you do? All right, guys, it's 7:15. I'm going to sign off. I know I started a little late, but I'm still going to sign off. So President Obama's presidency lasted longer than the Confederacy. That's a great quote. I like that. That's very funny. All right, guys. Well, have a good evening, everybody. We will see you all tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the gifts. And sayonara. I got to go give the dog water before she flips out. So have a good night, everybody. All right. I'm coming. 1 second here. Discord. It takes me a second, Sash. All right, Discord. See you, Ale. See you, Jeffrey. Discord and end. All right. 1 second here. Kind of have to sign off with everybody. All right. See you, YouTube. Well, she knows, again, she gets her little treat at this hour too. So she's like, brush my teeth and give me